to the entertaining Talkin' Sports.
What is going on, football fans? Back at it with another New York Giants video. Hope everybody's staying safe out there. I just want to let everybody know that I know that you guys voted on the 7-round mock draft, so I'll have that up later today. Going to get working on that. Really looking forward to doing that. And then I'll have a full first-round mock draft probably tomorrow, the day before the draft, as the draft amps up. I will be live tonight on Bad Dog Sports, so be sure to check that out as well as we do our final Talkin' Giants before the NFL draft. Of course, we'll be, continuing that show, doing a recap of the draft after the fact, but it will be our last live show together before the NFL draft. And before I get started in the video, and in this video, I'm going to talk about a quote that came out yesterday from Dave Gettleman when asked by Sean O'Hara about who he thinks, whether or not he, what he's looking at with the 4th overall selection with the New York Giants, and exactly what Dave Gettleman said. I'm going to play an audio clip. I want to give a quick shout out. I try to do this once a month to all my new members of the channel and just give a big thank you. And there are so many, so I'm going to try to do this as fast as I can. We're up to 77. And for those of you that are not aware, the new members, I do a monthly giveaway on a private stream, one private stream a month, and it's a fitted hat. As it gets bigger, as we hit 100, I'll probably do 2 fitted hats per stream, and then I'll be doing jerseys as it gets bigger and bigger. But I kind of want to just give a quick shout out to each and every one of the new members over the last month. So I'm going to do this as quick as I can. Gidio Victory, Greg, Jersey Joey, Peter Mariello, who have they played? Herbieto Rivera, BS, Kevin Watson, Matthew Dwayne, Boulder Picks, Jesse Rivera. In addition to that, Isaiah Simmons, Ken Kozamar, Gordon Gecko, Al Batts, Brooklyn Buddha, Daniel Saint, Justin Martinez, Wookie Skinner, Josh Latore, and Justin Leone. Some of my best subscribers on here. Recon Dog, Asia Roberson, Sofon Keith, Ryan Kelly, Greg Kamuka, I didn't pronounce that right, Lloyd Goldstein, Lucky Luciano, Mark Gottesman, Peter Bibby, Q-Dog. In addition to that, Arkham Asylum, VH95032, Entertainer and Bad Dog Fan, that's a good name. Goose Sports, Richie Rich, Andrew Christopher, Stickball Sports, Karan Gill, Abe Foreman, Larry McFadden. And we got a couple more. Johnny D, Talking Jake, Jackie Man Thompson, Mark Solonsky, David Biagalo, Misleading Story, David Kniezel, and a We Got Time, Whip Johnson, Davey Anonymous, one of my best. And then finally, Bronx Native, Blue Jackets Talk, Sarah Small, Jimmy Bernard, Zion Zenith, Belly81, and Lax044. So I'm sorry if that took up a lot of time on the video, but I felt the need to shout out my newest members. Thank you guys for all the love and support you show my channel, and thank you to each and every one of you guys that watch my videos. Hit the thumbs up, give me a comment. I really appreciate it. But without further ado, let's jump into some of the things that Sean O'Hara asked Dave Gettleman and what Gettleman had to say in response to the question. Of course, we're all on pins and needles right now leading into the draft. We don't know where the New York Giants are going to go. One day I think it's Tristan Wirfs, the next day I think it's Jedrick Wills, and the next day I think it's Isaiah Simmons. I can definitively say, at least in my opinion, I think it's down to those 3 individuals, unless they trade down, depending where they trade down to. But if they're picking at 4, 5, or 6, I really do believe it's going to be one of those 3 individuals on draft night. Who it's going to be, I do not know. We're going to have to wait and see how it plays out. But I wanted to jump into the quote and exactly go over what Dave Gettleman had to say in response to Sean O'Hara. So here it is.
Certainly a lot of unknown with this draft, but let's focus on something that is known, all right? 4th overall pick in this draft. You have never traded down your 1st-round pick, all right? I know you said that you're open for business, but there's some really good players at 4th overall. Now, this is just you and me talking here, Dave. Right. You got a chance to take Hog Molly. All right, and nobody's gonna give you any grief whatsoever. There's some really good tackles available in this draft. What are you leaning towards, and what do you see from some of these tackles in this draft?
The whole tackle class is thick. I mean, there's players, in every round, guys that you could take and feel good about. I've said it before. The 4th pick of the draft, you should be saying to yourself, "Can I picture this guy wearing a gold jacket?" It's reality, Sean. I've never traded back before, partially because I've seen teams trade back and trade themselves out of really good players. But I am, we are truly open because the other part of it is not only do you have to ask yourself the question, do you picture this guy in a gold jacket? You also have to ask yourself the question, is this guy I'm thinking of taking it for worthy of being the 4th pick of any draft. It's the same conversation we had with Saquon 2 years ago when we were sitting at 2. Okay, it's is this guy worthy of being the fourth pick of any draft, not just the 2020 draft? And those are the conversations we'll have over the next few days.
And there you have it. And he said a lot in that statement, and there's a lot of ways you could go with that. Dave Gettleman in that statement did say that the tackle class is extremely deep, and there's a lot of depth at that position throughout the draft. And a lot of people will definitely say that, and it is a very rich tackle class. And if Gettleman feels that way, he could be leading on, and I'm not a mind reader. He could be leading on that he may wait a couple of rounds because he feels like he could get a guy like Matthew Pert in the later rounds, in the third or the fourth round, someone like that. That may be what he's leaning. He then went on to say the gold jacket statement, which is going to get a lot of Isaiah Simmons people I guess, excited. But to me, I don't know which way to take that. Because is he talking about a gold jacket tackle? Is he talking about a gold jacket linebacker? I know most people are going to just automatically think he's talking about Simmons because he's the flashier player. But there's gold jacket tackles. He could be talking either way. He then later goes on to say, we have to ask ourselves, is he worthy of the fourth pick, not just in this draft, but any draft? And then he also went on to say that they are looking to trade down, which they've been, pretty transparent with that from the start. One thing I will say about Dave Gettleman, he has not been nearly as outspoken, not just with Simmons, with any prospect in this draft, as to one being a gold jacket prospect when he, as far as he goes with Saquon Barkley. So I honestly don't read too much into that statement. He could be talking about a gold jacket prospect at the tackle, at the linebacker position. And quite frankly, we're not going to know until draft night. The only thing I took from that answer when he was asked from Sean O'Hara about this year's draft was he did say that there is a lot of talent at the tackle position throughout the draft, which may lead some to believe that the value pick at number 4, if they stay at number 4, would be going with Isaiah Simmons if it's between the linebacker and the tackle. Like I said, he did say he was open for business, though, but the right deal has to present itself. He did also later go on to say throughout that entire, transaction that he hasn't traded down in the past because he's seen that GMs, when they do so, miss out on good players. So it doesn't look like Gettleman sounds like he's desperate to trade out of that fourth pick, but he's willing to talk if the right deal presents itself. History would show you he probably will not trade back because if you go back to 2018, he was in a prime position to trade down, but he elected to take Saquon Barkley. There was a lot of quarterback-hungry teams in that draft, in a draft that had better quarterbacks than this one, at least going into the draft, and Gettleman elected to stay there. Will he elect to stay there at 4 if he feels Isaiah Simmons is a gold jacket prospect? That remains to be seen. We do not know if he feels as strongly about Simmons as he did about Barkley. After all, you didn't see the New York Giants interviewing 4 or 5 running backs that draft. This is a new regime, but to my knowledge, to the things that have come out, the New York Giants have not interviewed Simmons, but they've interviewed 4 or 5 linebackers that are supposed to go after him. So we got to take all these things into context. We've heard about Kenneth Murray. We've heard about Logan Wilson. We've heard about a number of linebacker prospects. One name we have not heard is Isaiah Simmons. The only thing I could say with certainty is we do not know who the New York Giants will take with 4 or who they may take at whichever pick they trade down to. It's a guessing game at this point in time. And quite frankly, that's the way it should be. And maybe that has something to do with this new regime. Yesterday, you heard the reports about them going out and interviewing Justin Herbert. I think that that's the Patriot way. You go back and look, Bill Belichick used to interview every quarterback. And I think Joe Judge is, bringing a lot of Patriot culture to this New York Giants team. And we're not going to know who they're picking until draft night. As always, guys, if you liked what you watched, please subscribe, drop a comment, maybe give me a little thumbs up. Cheers.